It's a completely new underbone chassis. So in that sense, TVS is very clear that this does have ideas that we have developed as we built other scooters, sure. But this is not directly related to the iQube or the TVS X or any of the other products. And I'm focused on electric because this is obviously an electric. It looks, when you see the diagram, that there could have been a battery pack under the floorboard. But like on the iQube, the battery pack is actually right under where the rider sits and under the seat. And TVS continue to say, we've tried it, we've iterated it. It always comes back to here being the right place to put the battery pack in terms of how the vehicle feels to ride. It remains here. I was in a group which was not the traditional group of journalists, so the questions were a little bit out there, and that was very interesting because they're coming at it from a non-traditional perspective. So somebody remembered to ask, saying, are these the iQube batteries? Did you do something to it? And TVS had to clarify, saying, no, same battery pack, same battery cells, but we learn as we make batteries and we optimize and reiterate, and those kind of incremental changes are certainly in this battery pack. But it is effectively the same battery pack as an iQube. And the iQube now comes in a 3.1 kilowatt hour version. This is a 3.1 kilowatt hour orbiter.
And so the optimizations would be more on the software side, or?
They said both. They said battery control unit as well as construction. But they're saying we are learning small things, we are deploying small changes, and whatever accumulated learnings are there, the latest version of that battery pack is this one. I refuse to believe that if they've learned and put, then this 3.1 kilowatt hour battery pack is also not more or less identical to what's in the current iQube. It doesn't make any sense to have two slightly different versions of the same thing in production. So they are learning and they're deploying those changes. We call them running changes. We know that this is a thing. When you accumulate running changes up to a point where there's a significant number, then it becomes a facelift. It can become a generation change. And when you do massive and whole platform changes, then you say completely new replaces whatever. So Orbiter is a brand new product because the chassis is brand new. The motor is a brand new hub motor. So it's less powerful than the one on the iQube. As far as I can tell, the supplier is not Bosch this time. And as far as I can tell, TVS was a little bit cagey about revealing information on this because I think there's IP and patent and all of that going on in the background. They did not confirm. But TVS indicate that they worked on the design of the hub motor and they've been able to achieve a better design, more efficiency, etc., which means this thing burns less energy. But it also means, since it is a hub design, some of the usual issues with hub motors remain on the Orbiter. For example, you can't do a tire change by yourself in a random place. You'll have to go back to the TVS dealership to get the tire changed. Like the iQube, the Orbiter will be sold at the iQube ready TVS dealers. But TVS does say that's a relatively large number of dealerships now, and they've been working on expanding it, etc., So don't think of it as a small network. It is a subset of our network, but it is a large part of our network now. So the fundamental under the skin idea is 14-inch wheels in the front, stability, and a feeling of I'm in control plus chassis design. Rear is a 12-inch wheel, which visually first time looks odd, but because they go to the 12 at the back, they can control the gearing more closely. The mass of that thing is low. There's already a heavy motor in the middle of the wheel, so the unsprung mass. So they say between packaging, between controlling those weights, we came to the conclusion that the 12 was better. So they didn't say that they were opposed to the idea of the 14, but they came to the conclusion that the 14 would not make the Orbiter do the things that it does. So 1412 looks odd, yes, works well enough. We'll come to, but yes. Because of that, they have a 34-liter underseat storage space, which they say is a 2-helmet space. But if you look at the photograph carefully, that's 2 half-face helmets. And I'm not convinced for the photograph that they're the half-face that goes all the way to the base of your neck either, because it doesn't look like a very deep space. There is a rubber carpet type thing inside the space, which doesn't look like it's mounted to the bottom. So if you lift it off like this, you will see that the finish levels are a little bit all over the place on the bottom plate. But it is one of the few areas where you see an issue with the finish, and I went looking for it. I went to see what is underneath this. Because this is a product that is costing 99,990 ex-showroom. This is TVS's economy electric product.
And this is without subsidies that you're talking about?
Including everything, it is 99,990 ex-showroom. So PM, e-drive, etc., everything is built into this price, which I understand. But they said, we are looking at everything that is roughly 1 lakh rupees and EV as a rival and seeing how we can do this different.
Okay. One question that came up in this was, when you mentioned 14-inch wheels specifically, size of the scooter? What does it feel like in terms of...
I didn't think of it as an exceptionally large or exceptionally small scooter. So it is a weird proportion because of the 14 and the 12, but it feels roughly like a normal size scooter.
Because it looks a bit gangly, so it's kind of like, like it feels a little slim at times.
Yes, so
it
it can feel a little bit skinny side to side.
Mm.
It can feel like I don't understand the lines. And I was trying to figure out what, and I realized it was in the TVS presentation why it's hard to understand the lines. So if you look at the scooter's picture carefully, I'll put one up so you can see it, and I'll tell them to leave the picture on for a bit. If you look at the wheel axles, the line goes vertically up like this till the end of the scooter on this side and the end of the scooter on this side, which is unusual for two-wheelers. This is for 4x4s and boats, where at the end of a vehicle you have a line that goes vertically upward. All of the rest of the design elements are absolutely vertical. And it totally breaks your sense of, is this a two-wheeler meant to be dynamic, non-dynamic, stable, non-stable? It totally breaks your expectation.
Okay.
So if you look at the fluorescent green panel, it comes down like this, wraps around the floorboard, and then goes up like this, and you get vertical line, vertical line. And the only inclined lines are these at the bottom, which are rising up towards the ends of the product. So it totally breaks your sense of, you're like totally at a loss at first. So is this a good-looking product or not? Because you don't really know.
The Orbiter is a lot more than just a new scooter. This was a small clip of the conversation that I had with Shumi, where he spoke about his experience with the Orbiter, and there's lots to unpack there than just what the scooter does. Find out exactly what's going on the MotorInc app, where you can hear the entire conversation by signing up for free. Downloading the app is free, and the video there will be available for free as well.